Okay, everyone. Well, I'm back here again, and I've got another one. This is a request video, and this one here is twins overcoming dysfunctional patterns in family and soul group. All right, since I know the party who requested this, I'm going to limit this video specifically to overcoming dysfunctional patterns in family. Um, but first of all, before I actually kind of get to that, I want to make mention here that when you have twins that are coming in, and I'm talking the volunteer graduate souls that are coming in, it's to be remembered that they come in with a clear etheric body. What happens is during the course of their lifetime, in the family that they come into, they inherit or are templated with any and or all of the positive, negative, functional, dysfunctional patterns, whatever, of that particular family or soul group. And it means that at some point it is possible that they may pass that down through themselves, to their children, and not necessarily should they even remotely consider the possibility that they're at fault or they've done something wrong, because they haven't. What's happening at this particular point is, with a great many people, I find that when their children get older and their children may deviate and go into a functional, dysfunctional pattern, there is a point of reference here that you may need to consider just for your perusal. Is, in spite of templates passed down through families and soul groups, you have to keep in mind that the children of twin flames are not above and beyond these patterns. And at a soul level, they might have chosen to come in and experience this. As we know, and we're finding out more and more, the human experience for most of us always want to think and feel that the soul always wants to come in and have a positive, constructive, creative, functional, happy, blissful life. When in reality, that's not necessarily the case in a great many cases, as we've noticed around the planet. This is a school. And sometimes experiences can be chosen that for the parents or the people surrounding that person can be a very painful experience. And one needs to think about that. Case in point, myself. I chose an alcoholic family with very dysfunctional patterns. Physical abuse was very prominent. And ultimately, I found out that I picked it. I chose it for the development of character in myself. However, when you're a parent in a given situation, this is where it becomes to your benefit to get the full picture, because a parent will look at it from, as I understand, a very instinctual point of view and perspective, and I understand that. But one needs to take a look at the broader picture. And I can hear people saying, well, just get to the point, well, tell me what I can do to participate or fix it in that perspective. And I understand that also. But do you really want to do that? Do you want to assist in this, or are you perhaps interfering with the chosen path that someone wants to go with? There's a lot of things to consider here. And before one does anything to assist someone who may be in a very spiraling negative situation, one needs to think about all of these things and not allow their parental instincts to overrun them and override what is, in some cases, a very unpleasant situation. However, I wanted to impart that information before I make a suggestion as to what an individual can do to participate, first of all, in finding out if they should actually attempt to do something to be of assistance. That's the key here. One should not automatically assume that one is going to go ahead and just automatically assist or do something because it's your sibling or your child. You need to think about this. So what I recommend is that one does this. If a person feels that they have reached a point where they've understood what I've said previous to this, and they haven't gotten upset and got emotional about it, then they're probably in a situation where they can take the next step, which is I'm going to give now. And that is to go into the heart center chakra. And I know most people know how to do this. You've listened to enough of my videos to do this. And focus to the heart center chakra as if it were an emanating as what I call source creator energy or source creative center. Do not use the concept unconditional love. None of us in this state of consciousness that we are in 3D actually know what unconditional love is. We all talk about it, we all say we're going to use it, but there isn't anyone who actually knows what it is, because there is no such thing as unconditional love in three-dimensional reality in our present state of consciousness, evolved or not evolved at this point. It is not possible in our present state of consciousness, no matter what that evolved state has attained to know what unconditional love is. It is possible to make the connection at the level of source creative energy. Source creative energy is what's manifest at the heart center chakra, and it is neutral. What gives it form is the masculine essence presence of yourself, be you male or female. That's what gives it form. Form takes place in the balanced equilibrium of a masculine feminine essence who has produced within themselves a state of consciousness that is relatively stable, balanced, and their environment and their physical vehicle, relatively speaking, is in a state of balance and harmony, more or less. Perfection is not required. Reasonably close will do. Now, if one can honestly say that they're in that particular state, then what happens, they're in a position at that point to emanate what I call their co-creator self. So what does a co-creator need to do? Co-creator needs to acquire what I've just mentioned, and then a co-creator needs to go to the source. Where's the source? The source is in the very center of your chest, the co-creative center. It supplies the energy to give form. Pay attention, folks. You're going to love this. Form can only exist in an individual who has reached a state of spiritual maturity, who no longer thinks like a 15-year-old teenager, has moved beyond the present concept of spirituality and how it manifests, especially in the twin flame community. Now, having said all of that, what's next? You would close your eyes. You would take 3 breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Simple, not complicated. And you would go to what you see in the center of your chest symbolizes for you the heart center chakra, or heart center chakra, which is now going to emanate source creative energy. So focusing your attention to the heart center chakra, pick a symbol. Something that denotes energy, force, light, creativity. Good example, the sun. Visualize, feel, sense a sunball right in the middle of your chest. Now, as you focus your attention to that sunball, and you have absorbed everything that I've said, and you're in the appropriate state of mind, in the appropriate state of understanding, you're not going in there feeling emotional or parentally instincts are applicable and are not applying. You are doing this as a totally independent person, detached from the parent-child connection to the best of your ability. Now visualize, using the imagination, that particular person or party directly in the source creative center. Do not evoke unconditional love. Unconditional love, as we manifest it in any form in our present state of consciousness, is tainted with impurities and belief systems, which are 3-dimensional in nature. Focus your attention on that person. See them directly in that big sunball in the middle of your chest, and then ask them a question. See that picture of them in the sunball, then ask them a question. And the question is this. Word it in exactly these words. Can I be of assistance to you at this time? Then wait. Repeat it again. Can I be of assistance to you at this time? Then wait. Say it again. Can I be of assistance to you at this time? You may name the person if you like also. At no time are you to assume you automatically are going to, because you are a parent. You ask at the soul level, irrespective of all of your feelings, can I be of assistance to you at this time? Do it 3 times, then wait. If you've done it from the proper connection, and if you don't feel any emotion at that particular point, and you're not emanating that silly unconditional love vibration, you will get a response. The response will be simple. Yes or no. If you get a no, let it go, end the meditation. If you get a yes, this is the next step. Again, using form. If you get a yes, take your focus and attention and direct it to the overall picture of the individual's physical embodiment. Then reach with your imagination into the particular body within the body, which will be beyond the mental, the emotional, and the etheric, into the sheath body. And in particular case, I don't know what the dysfunctional pattern here is, but it could be many different things. You will find what you're looking for in usually the fourth or the fifth embodiment for dysfunctional bodies, or dysfunctional patterns, excuse me. What you're looking for in the sheath body that I'm talking about is a lump, a clot, a grayness, a dark color in the energy that's flashing and permeating through the sheath body. When you find it, do not remove it. Do not remove it. All you need to do is to project from the source creative center in the middle of your chest, not unconditional love, but source creative energy as a stream of energy, same color, if you will, as the sunball, to that particular part of the sheath body until the energetic template is free of that particular blockage or that particular template. But again, warning, warning. Do this only if you've applied and asked the question as I've stated and got the answer. If you do not and you go ahead and do it anyway, you are interfering in soul growth. One needs to be extremely cautious in doing this. This is not recommended for the immature. This is not recommended for someone who is deeply attached emotionally to someone. Be very careful with these exercises. Then, having done that, you simply let go of the visualization and repeat it every 3 or 4 days for a couple of weeks. The key is repeating it in the same way that I've mentioned each time. And you should begin to see results if it's applied correctly. Now, when giving information such as this, all right, I fully expect other people to understand something that is taking place here. The reason that I'm doing this is we have so many people on the planet right now who have open and active heart centers, chakras, and have gone through a lot of trials and tribulations and changes and everything else. What is happening now is we are being presented with the opportunity to now participate in actually using source creative energy via the heart center chakra, whereas before we were not given any opportunity to do so. We were at the whim and fancy of the event, the heart center chakra awakening, and we went through difficult trials and tribulations at a personal level to get our lives into some semblance of sanity and balance. And now, the reason I gave this exercise, and will be doing more in the future, is because we now have been given permission to now participate in becoming co-creators and using the co-creative center for something more than just looking for our twin flame and falling in love. All right? That's why I've given the exercise. Daisy, I hope it works for you, and I hope you are the person that I believe you to be to use it responsibly and in the proper way. The best to you and to others that are listening.